Welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. Today we've got a lovely air rifle. This is a sub 12 foot-pound UK specification Walther RM8 Varmint. Now this is the UC version, which is ultra compact, and these are made in Germany by Rotex, and quite frankly the quality is superb. So let's tell you about it in a lot of detail. Right, it comes with a sound moderator on board, and the barrel length is 340mm, which is 13.4 inches. That gives us a super compact handling rifle for hunting purposes or target shooting if you want, and because it keeps the centre of balance quite close in towards you for excellent pointability. Overall weight is 3,750 grams, which is 8¼ pounds. So it's not the lightest air rifle in the world, but it does have a nice handling character to it, and it's easy to control and use. Very stable in use. Overall length is 916mm, which is 37 inches, and that means it's quite compact, easy to store, easy to transport, and it's not, too overbearing to be walking around with. And of course, when you're carrying it, you're not going to be bumping into foliage, or if you're around the farmyard, too many tangles up with machinery and things like that. The trigger is an adjustable two-stage unit, and the pull weight on it is 435 grams, which is pretty much exactly a pound. That's a lovely light trigger, and it makes it very accessible for most people to use without any problems with flinching or things like that. Now, of course, being a sub 12 foot-pound air rifle, it has virtually imperceptible levels of recoil, so that is another factor that new shooters will never have to get used to. And quite frankly, a pre-charged air rifle like this is perhaps the easiest rifle of all to shoot accurately with precision, of course, relative to distance. Scope mounting is via conventional rail, and you can use dovetail mounts on that. Not a problem to fit anything you want. If you want to put a night vision sight on it, something that requires Picatinny, you can also put a Picatinny adapter on it too. The barrel is steel, the action's all aluminium as well, and you've got a lovely steel bolt handle which looks and handles quite similarly to a conventional centerfire rifle. So let's just pop that back, it clicks back into position, and we can take the magazine out because this is an 8-shot magazine fed air rifle. So it's available in 177 or 22, and either version has 8 magazine slots in it. This is a mechanically driven magazine, so it doesn't require it to be preloaded with spring tension. You simply take your pellets like these, and you can see this in the shooting shots on video, and simply pop them in, and there's a little O-ring runs around the side. It keeps them in position. Very easy to do, and these are really compact. You can get spares. It's not a problem to handle them. Now I'm just going to pop this out of here because I don't want to be handling that within the workshop, but if I put that back there, that's out of the way. So this, you have a sliding catch on the side here which goes forward, and you can see has a little pin goes through and locks the magazine in position. With the magazine place, every time the bolt's pushed forward in use, there's a little mechanical system in here with a pawl on it, and that pawl is like a small claw, and it just takes hold of the back of the magazine here and rotates it one stage at a time. So you're never reliant on spring tension alone to drive magazine rotation, and these are one of the most superb, reliable systems used on 2 or 3 air rifles I could mention, which have lasted me for decades, and I'm extremely happy to see that on the magazine on this rifle. So with it in position, let's just load it to show you how. The bolt comes back, make sure the catch is back as well, and that pops in from the left side with obviously the little teeth there toward you, the shooter. That pops back in, and every time you cycle the bolt, it will work for you. But of course you don't double feed it either, so you've got a great position and you're not going to get pellets jammed in the barrel if you do accidentally overcharge the rifle and recock it again. There's a manual safety catch on the back, and that has a little tiny internal switch on it. So if you just try and push it forward carelessly, it won't go forward. If you just push it slightly down and forwards, it just pops in like that. That automatically resets every time the bolt is operated. So you do need to just get used to taking the safety catch off to shoot. But if you don't shoot, that will just pull straight back out and the rifle is safe again. Now the rifle comes with its own filling probe. It's a brass filling probe. It's nice and strong, very durable, easy to use. And that slots in the underside of the gun here, so you can charge it up to about 230 bar. Now at 230 bar in this 2.2 version, and the 2.2 version is usually ever so slightly more efficient than a 177, I was refilling the rifle after 10 magazines, which is 80 shots, and that makes sure I kept within the optimum power curve of the rifle. Straight out of the box, fully charged up, the rifle was developing between 11.5 and 11.8 foot-pounds, but those 11.8 foot-pounds were literally the first few shots, and it stayed on a very flat trajectory and power curve then through 11.5 foot-pounds all the way through till I sort of hit that 11th magazine, and I noticed that it then suddenly dropped off down to 11 foot-pounds, and you could notice a slight different point of impact change at 20 meters. That's ideal because 10 magazines, 80 shots, that's enough that's going to get you out and about hunting, shooting, without having to be carrying spare air accessories with you. Now while we're looking at the underside of the rifle, you'll note there is Picatinny rail on here, which will fit many types of bipod. There are all sorts available. This one happens to be a tier 1 bipod that I've got in stock, but that just latches onto there and you can quick release lock it in position. And with that locked in position, you've got great capability of shooting prone from the bipod, which is one of the most accurate ways to shoot with any rifle, to be honest. But if you do use a tripod or something like that, you could at a later date add Arca rail to the underside, or that's got a nice big beefy forend, so you can use that in a tripod clamp. The other factor to mention is that the barrel is fully free floating and steel. It's a one-piece steel barrel, so you don't have any kind of intermittent problems with contact or anything like that tweaking the barrel and moving your zero, because it's got a nice clear space between the air bottle and the barrel, and you won't affect the barrel at all, depending on if you're slightly rough handling the stock. Speaking of the stock is a black polymer injection moulding. It's got lots of stippling on it. It's good hand filling unit, so you've got plenty of grip on it without actually having to exert massive force. It's a thumb hole unit, ambidextrous, so you can shoot it either right-handed or left-handed absolutely equally, and the stippling here also makes sure you've got good tactile reassurance holding the rifle. There is a slight palm swell, but it's not excessive, and it's a really comfortable rifle to shoot and use. The cheek piece is relatively tall, and you get a good alignment on the scope, and the scope's also got plenty of space because you're not trying to fit it around a very oversized magazine. The magazine's very compact, so you've got plenty of space on that dovetail to set the eye relief exactly as you need it. I'm using an Element Helix HDLR scope, which is 2:16 magnification, 50mm objective lens. It's got the kind of specification which perfectly suits an air rifle like this, and of course being parallax adjustable down to about 10 meters means you can keep full focus and full focal clarity at very short distance, even at full magnification if that's what you want to use. The recoil pad at the back is rubber, it's ventilated. Again, there's no recoil to actually diminish on it, but it grips well into your shoulder and it gives you a good shooting position. And you can use that however you like for improvised shots around the farm or target shooting, bit of practice PRS even. And it really is a versatile rifle for many reasons. I use the rifle exclusively with JSB Exact Jumbo Diablo pellets. With it being a sub 12 foot-pound rifle, I stayed with the lighter weight, which are 15.89 grains, and they did seem to suit the rifle perfectly. You can see from the chronograph results the velocity I was getting and also the extreme spread, which at lower than 20 feet per second across most of a 40-shot string, I was extremely impressed with, and you can see from the impacts on target, precision is very good, but most importantly the accuracy is excellent from a different number of shooting positions, and I didn't have any problem shooting out to 30 metres with it, which for a sub 12 2.2 is a bit longer than I normally shoot, but all the testing on targets was done at 20 metres and I'm extremely happy with the performance, because it's really important to say this rifle costs £419.99, so £420. It is quite frankly a very good rifle for the money. I like the steel barrel, I like the handling capabilities of the rifle, I like the consistency of it, the scope mounting solutions, the magazine reliability is also superb, and all I've had to get used to is just remembering it's a manual safety catch and just to click it off every time I needed to shoot, and that's no bad factor for a rifle that's targeted at, well, realistically it's not targeted because it will work for anybody. This will be a great gun for a kid wanting a first PCP rifle for Christmas, or it's a superb rifle to keep for shooting pests around the farm, rats, pigeons, things like that, or go rabbit shooting with it. I mean, what will it not do, quite frankly? And with 80 shots in that buddy bottle, a fully free floating barrel, you've got perfect reliability in my opinion. So it's the kind of rifle I really like because it's not expensive, it's well made in Germany, it's got good design factors and features to it, and it's completely reliable for using in any way you want to use it. Of course the choice between 177 or 22 is absolutely up to you, but when we look at the targets here shot, this was in an open-sided hay barn I shot these. So there was wind blowing through. It was quite a breezy day at 17 to 18 miles an hour most of the time. You can hear a lot of the rain noise and wind noise in the background, but I am very happy with those. And at the end of the day, I was shooting it just for shooting some groups, really. I actually wanted to get straight out, get the rifle zeroed and take some shots from around the farm, you know, hiding behind some of the machinery, getting a few shots. I got a couple of pot shots at some rats, which was great. And it's, you know, the kind of shooting a lot of people are attracted to for their first hunting experience. Right, I hope you've enjoyed watching that review. I have to say, the Walther Rotex RM8, there's just nothing wrong with it. It really is a great rifle. It's £420, so I think I'm going to give this one a good 9.5 out of 10 because I actually quite like it. It's very similar to my own air rifle actually. I won't say it's a German air rifle, but it has very similar handling, design, layout factors, but this one is less than half the price and it is not less than half the performance. In fairness, other than the walnut versus the polymer stock, it's equivalent the same performance. You can have this rifle at slightly lower cost as well. You can have it with a longer barrel, as I say, 177 or 22, and you can also have it with a wood stock if you prefer a wood stock rather than the polymer. Right, well thank you to the Sportsman Gun Centre for sending me this air rifle. I've put a link in the description, so check it out there and make sure you keep reading through the description and make sure you've got all the information that's available, because that's the one thing I can keep updating throughout the life of the video if anything changes. But for the meantime, thank you for watching. Bye for now.